Good afternoon, or from the UK, good evening. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. UK time, and I'm pretty much done with my trading today. So I'm just going to recap over what I've been in today. So I just realised I'm playing around with oil MCL. I did a sim trader. I went short. I just want to see how it trades, and it's doing okay actually. Only a sim. I took one contract to see how the ticks move, how it moves tick by tick, and it's not too bad. In fact, yeah. So apparently one tick is $1. According to this, I've moved 20 ticks and I'm up $20. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to probably look to trade CL futures or MCL futures in the very near future. So looking at my trades today, on my screen is the MES micros. It's the 5-minute time frame. So I took a couple of trades on it today. I had one winning trade as we opened. I went short here, and then I got out just there, and that trade was just a quick trade because on two of my eval accounts which I passed on Apex, you have to trade for a minimum of 7 days. So, and I passed those accounts within 2 days, so I needed just to register a trade today. So in and out, full profit, and I probably should have held it down to the VWAP, but I didn't. I just wanted to get that trade out of the way. So that's that trade done. So even though we're still in a downtrend on the hourly, I'll just zoom right out. In fact, this is go into the hourly chart. You can see we're in this downtrend on the hourly still. I had a slight long bias today because we come down into this area, this demand zone in the pre-market or yesterday's post-market, and the entry I wanted was already taken. So I did take it today. I'll get into that in a second. So, and it looked like I was pulling back, and I really had this area here as a potential target for a long. So go back into the 5-minute. Here we are. So back into today's 5-minute chart. So I took the first short, which was there, and only because it's the top in tail and it's a breakdown, and it broke down through there. So that was a quick short, and maybe I should have held on to it, because had I just kept one contract as a runner, we never actually came back up there at all until we got to the zone I was waiting on. But that's fine. Like I said, that was just a quick scalp. When we got down through the VWAP and we broke and we came back down, I took this long on this bottom tail here. So it was just long there, so I went long. I think I was long about there, and no, that was the next trade. Ignore that. I'll go back one more. In fact, the first time I saw this bottom tail, and I went long as we broke over the VWAP, and I thought we were going to push back up for the top, but as you can see, it didn't make much higher, so I stopped myself out when we came back down below here. And what I did instead is went long. So my stop out was on this candle down here, so my next long was on this zone here, and I went in. It was, so just analyze the volume. So it was dropping down, and the volume was decreasing. So to me, it looked like it wanted to turn around, or it's losing its strength. So I went long just as we got into this zone, right on that number there, 44.16. I had an out just below the 200 moving average, and my next out was up here. So that was a good trade. So that made up for this losing trade. So I was winning on that trade, I lost on that trade, I was up on this trade. So 2 out of 3 trades were winners by this point. And my next trade was back down here. So I went long again in this area. In fact, I averaged in, because this is the area I've been watching. So I went long, it was around about there. My next entry was down here, and then I had one right at the bottom. So my average price was about here, which was 44.12, 44.11, I think it was my average price. It was quite low, right near the bottom anyway, so I think I may have, I got in actually, it was just over 40, I think it was 44.11.50 my average, so I must have got in there, and right at the bottom. So I only had a few contracts, and I got out as we broke. I got out of one just here, the edge of this green zone, and the volume was a bit strange. I couldn't really judge it, but as it pulled back, I saw a bit of increase in volume, so that's the reason I got out. And then my next out was at the VWAP, and I held through the VWAP and I got out on this candle here. So, and it pulled back, and then what I did do then, I wasn't going to take any more trades, but I took one more trade. I saw this area, in fact this red line is the volume point of control, which shows you where there's heavily congested volume along this area. And so when it came back into this area here, I got in on the breakdown of this candle. So a double top, treble top really, and a retest of the pre-market lows. And that was a great trade because it pushed right down, and my first out was the low of the day, and my next out was the edge of this box. And the reason I got out, in fact it wasn't that candle, it was the break of this candle. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you why. So I was holding down, I got out as we broke over that candle, and there's a reason for it. It was this big volume spike. It showed me that it was ending volume. Well, it looked like it's ending volume at times. It's pushed down a bit lower, but this could just be the market mopping up orders and getting ready to turn around. But I saw this increased volume as we were selling off, and then this big candle at the end, which looked like ending volume, and there's a bottom tail as well. So I waited. If it would have broken down further, I probably would have taken it anyway. But my out was there at 44.09, I think it was. Yeah, 44.09 exactly. And that was it. That's my trading done. I'm pretty much done for the day now. Maybe I could have held a runner. In fact, I only had 2 contracts. It wasn't a big trade anyway. So I didn't really have any runners. Maybe I should have used this as a target instead of low of the day, because it looked weak and I had a feeling it's going to break through. Here we are. We're still pushing down now. So if we keep pushing down, the only place I can find is 44.04, which is an area. It's not a very good convincing area. Let's go on the daily, the hourly. You could argue it's an area of convolution, confluence, because we've got the bottoms of these tails here and the tops of these candles here and the bottoms of candles. So it is a potential target area, but this is the next area down. So 43.68 area to 43.75. That's an area where we might see a bounce. But also we've got this psychological number as well, 4400 area, and we may potentially get down to that today. Let's clear the screen. So how are we looking? Yeah, so 4400 is also a number we can keep an eye on, which is actually the area we were just looking at as well. So it is a psychological number and an area of potential support as well. So that's it. I personally think we're going to bounce around here anyway, hence why I got out. And the ending volume, which we saw on the 5-minute chart, convinced me enough that that was ending volume. And here we go, look, so we've got higher volume, bottom tail. So what the market likes to do, it doesn't turn on a penny. It will indicate that the sellers are exhausted because there's a fight, the buyers step in as well, and then it will then want to mop up the last few sellers, and any sellers who are still holding down here would have saw this and they're probably now thinking, oh crap, maybe it's time to get out. So you might see a bit of a push up now. So these are sellers, the last few sellers just selling up, and when the market or the inside or the smart money is happy that these sellers are all exhausted, then we might see a bit of a push up again. But technically on the hourly, in fact, if I go into the hourly again, you can see it quite clearly on the 5-minute. It is a new low, a new lower low as well. So where are we going to end the trend? So we've got high, low, higher, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially 4400 is the area we might see a bit of a bounce. And then let's go back to the daily to see where we're going to move in the next day possibly. So we're right in this green zone at the moment. We're looking at this pivot just here, and we had a big volume coming in on that day. What day was that? That was this candle here. And then we've just been below average volume, and we'll see how today ends, but we are moving away from the 8 moving average, the 50 and the 20, and the market just wants to it's like a magnet. It wants to pull itself back up towards these areas. If you look, we've always ran along the 8. We pulled away, pushed back in, 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 potential reversal, pulled away, we pushed back in. I know it's a bit tedious me saying this, pulled away again, pulled back in, and now we're pulling away. So potentially now we might be looking to maybe pull back in, and possibly this area is a nice target area we may want to come back to. Or we could even retest this area up here as well, which is a strong resistance or supply area. Right, that's my trading's done for the day. I'm going to spend some time with the kids now, but I will pop into the Discord room during the power hour. What's that, in about an hour's time? Okay, hopefully you had a good day trading. Another green day, so not a bad day. Okay, thank you.